single day. I'm gonna make something great.
Alright guys, so this vlog is going to be slightly different. It's a bit of a switcheroo from last time. Last time obviously was a weekend, so I showed you how I sort of do things on a weekend in regards to training, nutrition, all that sort of stuff. Now I'm going to do basically what I do for work, so obviously working from about 8:30 in the morning to 5, and I train beforehand as well, so it's actually the night before the day of training, if that makes sense. I do a lot of prep work the night before I actually work, because that way I've got my breakfast sorted in the morning, nice and quick, so when I get back from the gym it's just a quick get showered, sorted and go to work. It's giving me more time to do to training, get my cardio in, which is all good and good. So at the minute I'm just making my tea for tonight, so once the missus gets home we'll eat that, and then I'll go through everything that I basically start out night before work, including all my breakfast, my lunch that I'll take to work with me, and any bits and pieces like that. And obviously I also prep everything for the night before, so I've got all my workout clothes already set up, all my work clothes set up, and I'm also going to sort out my pre-workout the night before. So it's just get up and I get myself sorted, get dressed, and do a few stretches and stuff, because again that cuts down time. It means I can get up earlier, get more time to train and do my cardio once I get to the gym if I'm set beforehand with like my stretches and everything, which I might explain. I don't know how good it's going to look at 5 in the morning, me bending over, but if I can get it to look somewhat decent and explain why I do those things, I will do. If not, it might just be the food prep style stuff. And then I'm also going to talk about something fitness simplified, something I want to do. So essentially it's just like fitness tips or health tips for people who have little knowledge on the subject, because that was a comment I got in my previous video, was basically to do some for like people who are interested in getting into shape but have little to no knowledge, and I think that's something I could definitely do. So I'm going to incorporate that into this vlog as well. Fingers crossed it's useful to people and enjoyable. And also I will be probably showing you a back day session from previously in the week, just because obviously in the morning again I'm short on time, so filming things makes it a little bit more challenging to get the volume in, the exercises in, and also get my cardio done. So I don't know, it'll be arm day tomorrow, so I might show that, but the chances are it'll probably be my last back session, which was a fairly heavy back session with some deadlifts and stuff, and we've got some decent footage of that as well. So stay tuned for that, and I will be back once tea is consumed and I am sorting out my self for the morrow. Let's have a mush. Okay, so one thing that I do want to mention is with regards to my diet, I do have various staples. So my breakfast tends to be the same, my lunch can be the same, but my tea will change pretty much every single day. So we get a must food order, which is big bulk packs of various meat. So we've got mince, burgers, chicken, pork, anything under the sun, steaks, stuff like that. So what I tend to do is I'll track the night before. I'll put in what I'm going to eat for my tea, and then work the rest around it. And so that way I can get my calories where they need to be, macros where they need to be, and I'll just change my cardio per day, just so that I'm basically in the deficit I need to be in. And it means, one, I'm not eating the same foods every single day because that can get tiresome. Two, it is cheaper for us to do it that way. The must food order is nice and cheap. And one thing that I will show you in a second is the lunch for tomorrow, because we've just done a must food order. It comes with some ready meals that we can take, and they're about 300 calories, 40 grams of protein, do the job. And obviously it saves me having to make stuff the night before, which is good. But normally I'll be making either chicken and rice or chicken wrap or a salad of some sort, something to sit with me. That way I'll be prepped for the day. But fortunately I don't need to do that bit, so that won't be in this video, but I'm sure it'll come up in a different one, similar to what I did with the previous vlog with just taking stuff to the zoo. I have that set for work as well, and so I also prep everything that I need for tomorrow, so that'll be sorted. And I'll also show you in the morning what I eat prior to training, because obviously in a deficit I like to get something in my stomach before I train, just to up the glucose levels, because that has been shown to improve your ability to perform in the gym even when you're in a deficit. And it only takes a couple of seconds, because I literally have a couple of rice cakes and some syrup on the top, like 10 grams of syrup. So A, it tastes great, and B, gives you a bit of a bump for the gym to go along with your supplements. So I'll show you that as well, but that will obviously be in the morrow. Okay, so I'm now starting to prep for tomorrow. So the first thing I wanted to show you was just one of these meals here from Muscle Food. So taking that with me tomorrow for my lunch, along with a chocolate rice meal, which I'll also be making now. So as I said, Muscle Food is just a bulk meat company, as I'm sure most people know, and they just send these on as like extras. So we spend about 35 quid each between myself and my girlfriend a month, and that gives us enough meat for a month, and we also get like 7 of these meals, so that gives us like a good half a week between the two of us where I don't have to make meals, which is always good. And as you can see, yeah, as you can see, we're stocked up. That bad boy is chock-a-block with meat. Hashtag that's what she said. So obviously that'll go into the old fridgeroonie now. I'm also going to make the bits and pieces that I'm going to do. So for one thing, I just weigh out my choco rice meal, pop that in some Tupperware for tomorrow. And I also take that with a protein shake, which will be 2 scoops of whey with some water in it, and that'll obviously do for like the milk for the cereal. And that'll be mostly what I take for that. I'm also going to prep my breakfast for tomorrow. Again, it's very simple stuff, but it just saves me time in the morning. So I'll do that now, probably try and do like a time-lapse thing, and hopefully it comes out alright, but yeah, I'll show you what that looks like. And then after that, I will be getting up tomorrow and basically vlogging what I do in the morning, so won't be long, but hopefully somewhat interesting. Okay guys, that's food prep all done. So what we have here is one tuna salad. Again, doesn't look fabulous, but honestly, one of my favourite meals of the day, considering it's very, very low, if any carbs in there. Actually is really filling. I've got one protein shake made with water here, which I'll mix with my choco rice when we get to work. And then obviously we have the black bean meal from Muscle Food as well. So that will be my lunch there. This one I'm not 100% sure. I'll either wait and have it when I get home, or I might take it to work with me. It depends. I got a bit hungry today at work, so it might be good to have that with me. It just depends on what I'm doing at work, or whether I can jump out for 5 minutes and quickly eat that or not. But I'll definitely be eating that after the morning. That's my after the morning sort of meals. And over here is where we get the morning meals. So pre-workout, which you've seen me make before, same old, same old. So it's just what I'll have before the gym, so that is caffeine and a pump product and some creatine in there as well. Just by my protein and PE science, just, yeah, does the job. Pretty good, and it's only 225 milligrams of caffeine, which is good because I'm used to having maybe like 300 milligrams, so I'm trying to reduce that a little bit. I'm not having Monster on my lunch break either now. I'm having one of these, so 0 calorie, and obviously just helps with cravings, makes you feel a little bit more full. So that's all good. In here is the egg whites, which you saw me make. It is just tedious. It takes a few minutes to get rid of the yolks, and it's cheaper for me to just do the eggs, as you can see from Aldi over there, as opposed to actually buying egg whites. So that makes it a lot easier and does actually save a fair amount of time. Here we've got weighed out, we have oats with some sultanas in there as well. So there's 40 grams of oats in there, and about 10 grams of sultanas, not a lot, just a few thrown in. So that's all weighed out, and I'll basically have that with this protein shake here, which is made with almond milk. I just think it thickens it up a lot more, makes it a bit more satisfying. And the one thing we'll be adding to that tomorrow is some frozen fruit, which I would get to, but again I'll have to get through all the meat, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I'll just do that in the morning. Literally just bang some frozen fruit in there. It's mixed one from Aldi again, just raspberries, blueberries and strawberries. Bang it in there with that. Microwave for a minute and a half. Drag it out, stir it, and then put it back in for half an hour, and that'll be my breakfast. And then prior to the gym, I have 2 rice cakes here, which are really low calorie. And then in a minute, I usually use jam, but I've been actually using this butterscotch syrup, which tastes absolutely awesome. And I should have 10 grams of that on each one of those, and so 20 grams of that in total is about 100 calories. It's got a little bit of way to just raise that glucose, as I explained earlier. I'll just bang that in before I go to the gym. Have that, come back, have my breakfast. And this, what I tend to do is bang it in the frying pan, obviously, make an egg white omelette, and I'll put red onion, peppers in it, and I'll also have tomato ketchup with that. And so it's quite filling and macro friendly. And then after doing all this throughout the day, I have one more meal, which tomorrow is going to be a pack of southern fried chicken from Muscle Foods, so it's not actually southern fried or breaded or anything, it's just the flavour. And then we're going to have that with 200 grams of white potato and salad, and that will round me up for the full day of eating. So I'll probably show you that as I go through it tomorrow as well, and then I'll catch up with you guys in the morning, bright and early, 5 o'clock start, and most likely annoy the missus because I'm vlogging at that time.
The old songs. For all time's sake. As time goes by. Some of the old songs. For all time's sake. As time goes by. A long time. For all time's sake.
I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time.
Okay, so one thing I just wanted to add to the video, So adding that fruit to the porridge actually made it miles nicer. The consistency was a lot better as well, which is an added bonus. And it was 100 grams of frozen mixed fruit from Aldi, and it was like 33 calories extra. And that was it. So awesome. Honestly, it was a huge improvement. I definitely recommend trying that with something like that. Obviously, it makes the meal a lot more enjoyable and actually filled me up even further, I think, anyway. So just an option for people if you're trying to get in like a little bit more enjoyment out of your food while still keeping calories low. That's a good idea, or something I found today when I've tried it the first time that I actually think I'll keep doing. So if that helps, hope it does. Alright guys, so back from work, one thing I just wanted to point out is on this board over here is basically where I put like some sort of goals and bucket list items and things like that. One of the goals actually was to post and make a vlog, so I can just do that off, which is quite good. So that was basically the main reason for doing the first vlog, obviously along with me competing. It was just something that I've watched a lot of YouTube videos in, just in my day-to-day life, follow a lot of fitness YouTubers, and you just want to have a go at it yourself, see what you can do, and if you can make even a half decent go at it. So I've done that, which is quite cool. So that's on there. I'm going to tick that one off, and I'm actually going to use this board in today's video as well, just for the fitness simplified thing. So it's just going to basically be a few tips for people who are interested in getting into shape, and how to keep it as simple as possible, so basically you can keep your adherence quite good. So I'll give you a bash in a second. Right guys, so this angle might not be the best because I'm filming with the front of the camera, so I can get the wide angle lens so I can actually fit in the screen, because I've got no one else here at the minute to film me doing this, plus I feel a bit more comfortable doing it on my own at the minute anyway. But this is going to be my fitness simplified board here, so I'm just going to basically speak through a few things that I would basically do for someone new starting to look into getting better in shape and they have very little idea of what they're doing. I will move it up once we get to the bottom bit, and hopefully that'll do the best. If not, I might have to wait till my girlfriend comes home, maybe she can film me, and then she can tell me what it looks like, but we'll give it a go now, see what it looks like. So this half the board here is something I've literally just seen as I was walking home on Instagram by Dr. Nadolski, and I just thought it was quite applicable, so I've thrown it in here as a bit of an example, but we're going to get to that bit in a second. So Fitness Simplified, the first thing I was thinking of, the most important thing when it comes to any sort of change that you are making for the better, is can you keep it going indefinitely? So you see a lot of people who will jump on the fitness bandwagon, and they'll diet on like a crash diet where they'll drop like 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories from their diet or whatever they're doing, and you can see it's negatively affecting them, like just in their mood, in the way they feel, and that they can't keep that going for the next 20 years or whatever. So what tends to happen is they give up on the diet and they end up reversing and going back the other way, so they'll end up even in a worse situation than where they started, because they just get that sort of pull back to calories and food and starvation cues and all that stuff. So things like the keto diet where you go zero carb, I just don't think sustainable. I've got a lot of issues with that diet personally myself. I just don't think it's a good idea for anybody. It does affect your mood massively, your training massively, and there's things like the keto flu which people talk about where they just feel absolutely terrible because they're not on any carbohydrates whatsoever. And trying to put yourself through that, is that going to be something you can keep going? No. So if you can't keep it going, it's not a positive change. It's something you're going to slip back from and probably gain the weight back, and if not more. So that's your main consideration. Can you keep it going indefinitely? Is it something that you can just keep going and not feel like it's a chore? And so on that note, the next one I put in here is keep it simple. So I actually wrote these out yesterday, and some of these are across here, which I've seen today. So it's quite good to know that I've actually written something worthy, because if he's posting about it and it's basically his job, and I've written this yesterday, whether you want to believe that or not, it shows that I do know some things that are helpful, maybe. Anyway, so yeah, keep it simple. So when it comes to your diet, people basically, the first thing anyone says when it comes to cutting or losing weight, dieting, is that, oh, you can't eat carbs. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Me personally, I take it quite, I wouldn't say to an extreme level, but I track everything and have done for over a year and a half now. People don't want to do that. So it works for me, fabulous. It doesn't work for a lot of people, and if it's not working for a lot of people and it's not something they can keep going, so can they keep that going indefinitely? Can they track everything they eat in MyFitnessPal indefinitely? No. So you're going to fall off, and again you have the same issue. So what I would say, someone brand new to the gym, looking at getting involved in fitness or just improving their diet in any way, shape or form, these is what I would say. So keep it simple. Number one, I would have protein with every meal. So that can be in any form you want. It can be meat, can be eggs, can be fish, can be whatever you want. There's protein cereals like protein Weetabix, stuff like that for like a morning if people don't want to be having like meat in the morning. So yeah, protein with every meal I would say is a good idea, and make it a decent part of the meal, like the main focus of the meal in my opinion. I'd say veg or fruit with every meal as well. Number one, it's good for you, all the micros involved, so you're hitting those health wise. Two, they're quite satiating and very low calorie, and you don't have to think about it, so you're not tracking here, but you're eating something that's A, good for you, and B, is going to help with a caloric deficit if that's what you're after. Again, it is very goal dependent, so but I would just basically say don't panic about your calories. If you're just new to the gym, you just want to get in better shape, eat to satiety. So until you feel like you're not hungry anymore, just eat as you normally would. But I would have protein with every meal. I'd have fruit or veg with every meal. And if you're looking at losing weight, the one thing I'd say is just portion control. Eat the same foods you already do, but I would say reduce the amount of them by like say 25% to begin with. So if you eat, say, obviously I would eat chicken and rice. You maybe don't. Maybe you have like frozen chips and a pizza or something like that. Take the frozen chips, cut it in half, and just have half of what you'd usually have. That way you can still enjoy the foods that you're eating, and you're still eating something you enjoy. But you're gonna be portion will be a little bit less, so you won't feel it as much. And that is only if you're trying to lose weight. If you're you're looking at gaining some muscle, possibly leaning up a little bit. If you're brand new to the gym, I would literally just say keep your diet the same. Don't reduce your portion control or anything like that, because you'll be maintaining your body weight at what you're eating at now anyway. So I would just make sure you're having protein with every meal, because if you are new to the gym, you're going to need that for recovery. Fruit and veg, again, it's just something lots of people lack at, and it's an easy thing to do. So for me, I never used to like fruit and veg at all, but I do like apples, so Granny Smith all the way. Nice sour apple, and I can have that every day, and it's not an issue for me. It's not like I don't want to eat it. I enjoy it. Veg wise, see, you get people like, oh, sprouts, carrots, stuff like that. Well, no. I mean, if you have a fajita, you've done that. If you have a fajita, everyone loves fajitas. You get protein in your chicken or your beef that you pop in there. You've got your fruit and veg, red onion, peppers, mushrooms, if that's what you want to have. And red onion and peppers goes with pretty much everything and makes everything taste awesome. So I would personally do that. And then, as I've put here, yeah, eat what you enjoy. So when you enter the gym, your caloric expenditure is going to go up anyway. So when it comes to your diet, don't overcomplicate. Just eat what you normally do, and then just have protein in every meal and some fruit and veg in every meal, and that'll pretty much do you. I guarantee, because the training stimulus is so new to you, you will you'll do a recomp. So you will end up losing body fat and gaining muscle at the same time, because the stimulus is so new to you. And essentially, you'll be eating at maintenance, because it's how you normally eat anyway. Okay, as long as that is where you normally eat and you normally stay, the same sort of weight, you'll normally be doing the same thing. You'll just be upping your protein a little bit. One thing I would say, or what I did when I first started training, and this wasn't because I knew better, it was literally just because it was suggested to me, was I was training consistently, to be fair. The only thing I didn't look at my diet, I didn't change anything I ate. All I did was have a protein shake afterwards, and that was it. And I was doing two things. One, I was getting more protein in my diet so that my recovery was there, which was good for the gym. And two, it was actually increasing my calories by about 300, so you're actually in a little bit of a surplus, so you're giving your body more calories, that way it can grow. Personally, I think if you're keeping yourself at maintenance, you'll be fine, especially if you're brand new to the gym. So, and that just keeps your diet easy and simple. So a protein shake is something I'd recommend if you want to just completely do your diet exactly the way you normally do. You don't want to have to mess around with it. You don't want the headache of thinking, should I eat this then or now or whatever, or anything like that. Should I change what I eat at all? If you want to eat exactly the way you normally do, you want to train, just have a protein shake afterwards, and it's just going to bump up your protein intake, which will help your recovery and in the gym. And that's going to, honestly, the first 6 to 12 weeks of your training, if you do that, you should see significant improvements pretty quickly, and it's not a lot to do. But again, you don't have to have protein shake. You could just eat protein with every meal just to up that protein intake, because that's something people tend to lack who don't train. So obviously I've spouted on about it while saying keep it simple. I've already spouted on quite a lot of stuff there, so that's helpful. But for summary, just up your protein with things you enjoy. Eat the same way you normally do. And just assess how it goes from there. Once you hit that first plateau after you've made your what people call newbie gains, then look into your diet a bit more, maybe eat an extra meal and see what happens. But But again, for newbies starting out, just eat a bit of extra protein on a daily basis and you're fine. And that's something that you can do indefinitely. You can find a protein source that you enjoy, whether it is a protein shake. So for instance, my protein do like 1,000 different flavours. Most of them are really, really nice. You have them with milk, it tastes like a milkshake. Like, it is enjoyable. I enjoy my shakes. So that's something I could quite easily do indefinitely. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I'm sure you can, fit bacon into your diet, or chicken, or beef, or having fajitas, or having tacos, or you're getting some protein in there with some veg. Just do that. Just incorporate something into your meals that's proteinous. That's what I would say. Training, be realistic. So you've got all these people who they enter the gym and I'm hoping you guys can see that, are full of enthusiasm and they want to train every single day. I do, but you shouldn't. So be realistic. How many times a day can you actually get into the gym and work around that? If you can make it 1 day a week to the gym, that's better than nothing. So why don't you just go to the gym once a day? If realistically that's all you can manage with your whatever schedule you've got going on, just do a full body once a week, see how it goes. Ideally, I would say do 2. If you can make it to the gym twice per week and do full body, that's great. If you can make it to the gym 3 times a week, I'd probably recommend a push-pull leg. So you do your pushing movements, such as your chest, shoulders and tricep movements, and literally you can Google exercises for those and they will come up, or YouTube. 1 day will be your pull movements, so for your back and your biceps and your rear delts, this is how I would do it. And then a leg day where you do all your leg movements, and do that 3 times per week, if that's what you want to do. And also that amount of training will be really, really good for people new to the gym. So for instance, I train every body part twice per week, but I've been training for years now. So I need more of a stimulus to make a change. Whereas being new to the gym, training everything once a week, you're going to see significant improvements. And as I said, once you get past the newbie gains, like we said with the diet, maybe adding a meal, with your training, once you get past that, the newbie gains, you can then look at increasing your volume. So go to the gym a little bit more frequently once you're used to it, and if it's something you do like doing. You don't have to, but again, you can look at increasing your frequency to training something 2 times per week, or switching the way you train up slightly at that point. But again, keep it simple. So protein with every meal, veg with every meal, eat what you enjoy eating, and just see how it goes. And training, be realistic. How many times a week can you get in the gym? If it's 2, marvellous, get it done. Just do 2 full bodies. And again, I might discuss that in another video, where a bodybuilding split, where we can do full body or push-pull legs, for instance. So supplements is something I get asked about. Before any of this, if someone talks to me about the gym, what supplements do I take? That's backwards. Nutrition, number 1. If you want to lose body fat, you want to lose weight, you can do it with nothing else but nutrition. You can do that. You can't really out-train a bad diet. Technically you can, but it's a lot harder. So if you want to lose body fat, this is the last thing you're thinking about, supplements. You can take a fat burner and lose body fat if you're eating too many calories. It's that simple. So it's not a priority. Supplements are something I actually love. I absolutely love supplements. I take them every day. Mostly pre-workouts and protein. That's basically all I take. But it's not a priority. You don't need them. They help your training a little bit, and the protein shake for me just makes it a bit easier to get my protein in without having to eat that much chicken or buy that much chicken. It's a cheap alternative. But supplements, they're just not necessary. If you're new to the gym, don't do it. I would recommend just not. I don't see a point in it. Just, again, eat the way I've said, keep it nice and simple. Train the way I've said, keep it nice and simple. And so that you can basically you can adhere to it and you can be consistent with it. That's the most important point. Be consistent with what you're doing, and it will lead to results. If you have spare money and you want some supplements, and it's something you want to do, again, not a priority, and it does not replace your diet or training, I would recommend a protein shake, which I've said. I don't really count that as a supplement, because essentially it is whey protein from milk. So it's just concentrated whey protein from milk. So it's a food source in my mind. But if you are trying to get yourself out of bed in the morning to go before work, and that's the only time you can go, a pre-workout isn't a bad idea, but don't end up like me and taking it every single day and it being a crutch. Again, learn from my mistakes. Just take it on, well, if you're only training 2-3 times a week, that should be fine. Take it on your training days, but also have days where you don't take it. If you're not training in the morning, don't take it for that specific session, because caffeine is definitely something that I'm mildly addicted to, and mildly is probably an understatement. So a pre-workout is a good idea. And if you really want to take supplements, creatine's a good one. It's very, very cheap, and it increases your ability in the gym, both in strength and in endurance. So reps that you can do with a given weight, it is shown to help you. You know, you're not going to look incredible straight away. You're not going to be able to blast out 100 kilos for 20 reps on creatine. It'll just give you a little bit of an edge. It's something that everybody in the fitness industry nowadays knows is good. But again, if I was you, I just wouldn't. If I was brand new to the gym, I'd just get my diet somewhere where I can keep it consistent, my training somewhere I can keep it consistent, and have a whey protein shake after I work out every day, just so all the bases are covered. It's nice and simple. You're enjoying the training, you're enjoying what you're eating, and it's something you'll be able to be consistent at and be adherent with for the long term, and that is what is going to make the difference. If you do these things over a long period of time, you're going to look good. It's that simple. Once you start getting to places where your strength is basically plateaued and your physique has plateaued, then you can start looking into the minutiae of supplements, of how you're training, of tracking your meals, things like that. Just but for the start, make your life, training, diet, everything enjoyable and something to stick to. That would be my number one thing. And you know, if anyone wants me to put together like a simple training split for them, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm sure I've got like some people at work who might be interested, and I've done it for people before. And I'll just literally have a chat with you and just say, I mean, I'm not a PT and I'm not a coach, but I can throw together workouts for people, and just something that you can try and give a go to if you're completely in the dark. If not, just bang on YouTube, push day, chest day, and I guarantee there'll be 1,000 people out there who've done them, who will show you how to do them. And if you literally put how to perform bench press in, someone will have broken that down into perfect things. I would definitely recommend someone like Jeff Nippard, for instance. He does Technique Tuesdays. So if you literally type in Jeff Nippard bench press, I'm sure his Technique Tuesday will come up on that, and he breaks down every single movement you're going to do in the gym really, really, really well. So that's for people who obviously aren't used to the fitness industry or to YouTube videos who are watching this. Because I know a lot of people from work who watch, a lot of people, a couple of my friends from work who probably are obliged to watch. If you're interested, I'd give them guys a follow on the YouTubes and the Instagrams, and that'll give you some ideas as well. And so we're going to go to this side here, the Dr. Nadolski side. So literally I saw this on Instagram. I was walking home from work today, and literally says here, a patient resolved their sleep apnea and diabetes by losing 60 pounds. I'm assuming that is type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is not really going to make a difference. And here's what they did. Lean protein with each meal, green veggies with each meal, 3 to 4 meals per day, lifting 3 times per week with a bunch of walking in between. They didn't need a crazy diet or exercise. No one does. And he's a family/obesity medicine physician. That's his job. And so the things I point out here, these little simple things you just can do, is exactly what this guy did. He didn't even do any form of cardio. He just did walks. He just went for walks in between his meals. In between his training. So he went for walks. He lifted 3 times per week, which is again something I've recommended 2 to 3 times per week over here for starting off at. And he just did these little things. And he lost 60 pounds, and that is a lot of weight. That is a hell of a lot of weight. And to be able to reverse things like what I'm assuming is type 2 diabetes and sleep apnea, medicinal issues, just from these little life changes. And you can do that indefinitely. So there we go again. Can you keep it going indefinitely? Yes, he can. Yes, he did. And he did amazingly. And I think the reason that this isn't more obvious is because it's not flashy. It's sellable. So you've got people who shout about keto diet. You get people who shout about every given thing. You know, fat burners. Every amino acid under the sun's got some sort of perpetuated friggin' anabolic ability. So that's sellable. You're just like, ooh, if I take this, I get this reaction. No, if you put the work in, you get the reaction. If you just do things consistently on a day-to-day basis, you get better results than just popping a pill. So, just something to think about. I hope this is helpful and I haven't rambled on too much. And I would just like to say thanks for you guys watching these videos. It does mean a lot to me that I actually have my friends and that actually watching the videos. It does mean a lot. I didn't think I'd get as much support as I have done. I'm only 2 days in, but I got 15 subscribers, and that was a big thing for me. I was like, swag. Obviously, it's not a huge thing for YouTube in general, but I was very happy with actually people who I didn't think would be interested in watching the videos and commenting and sharing and things. So thank you for that. But yeah, just be consistent, keep things simple, and keep things enjoyable. And you're set. And like, if you don't want to get in the gym and lift, there's other things you can do. If you like playing football, do that. you know, and you can make a change that way. Whatever you like to do, just do it. And keep that going, and just, you know, make the slight diet changes I've suggested. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just something that might work for you. And don't overcomplicate things or look at the minutiae, because people look at, you know, the best men's physique athletes or the people in the bodybuilding industry who be like, oh, I only eat like intermittent fasting. Oh, I don't eat until 12 and then I stop eating at 8 and I'm shredded. It's like, well, yeah, that's only one portion of what you're doing in the day. And for me, if I did intermittent fasting and I didn't eat until 12 o'clock, I would be a miserable man until I got to eat. I need my food in the morning, or my mental state is not there. But some people think intermittent fasting is fantastic. It gives them mental focus in the morning. They can work better while they're fasted, and you know, some people prefer to train better when they're fasted. It's just the way that it works for them. So back to what I said in, I think, the first vlog as well, make your training applicable to you, do what works for you, do what makes it enjoyable, fun and sustainable, and something you can adhere to for the long term, and be consistent, and it will lead to positive change. Not something you're going to do for a bit, drop off, do for a bit, drop off, because your physique's going to do exactly the same, your weight's going to do exactly the same, you're just going to yo-yo up and down. Just do something you can make slow changes that will carry on over time, and that will lead to an overall better result. Thanks guys, I appreciate the watch, and I apologise for waffling on as long as I have.